The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you've had a great week, and I'm excited to be connecting with you today. We're going to be focused on fun, movement, play, really bringing play back into our lives, and energy. And I find so often when we get into November and we're looking towards the end of the year and the weather's cooling down, sometimes our energy can dip a little bit. We can start to feel a little pressured and pulled a lot of different directions and sometimes really feel stressed and out of balance. So today I thought it would be great to bring on a couple experts that can really help us minimize stress, bring fun, movement, and play back into our life, increase our energy, not just in November, but actually if we build these practices into our life, it can be ongoing, that we could always have fun and movement and play and energy in our lives. So I really encourage you to listen in and hear from the experts that I have brought aboard. So today we have Jim Kirwan joining us. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rebecca. It's great to be here.
Glad to have you. And then we also have Kerry Hargraves. Kerry, welcome to the show.
It's delightful to be here. Thank you, Rebecca.
You're very welcome. And Jim is an expert in movement, and I will give him a more formal introduction a little bit later in the show, but he's really coming from this passion and this desire to really help America start moving again and really being exercised back into your daily life and movement. And then Kerry comes from a background in corporate America and really wants to help lead the charge of bringing joy and fun back into our lives. So we're in for a treat today. And as I was getting ready for the show, I was reflecting on fun and play and movement. And I do a lot of live events and programs and tour around quite a bit. And one of the questions I got from an audience member recently had me really pause and think a little bit, because we don't always know how we're impacting other people. We don't always know how we're seen out in the world because we're so connected with ourselves. We don't really know how we're being received out there. So this is one of those moments. And she wrote it in on a slip. She didn't give me permission to use her name, so I'm going to keep it anonymous. But she goes, Rebecca, how is it that you exude the extreme happiness and joy like all the time? I just don't understand it. And I really want to know how you seem to do that. And I paused, and it's interesting because I'm not walking around all the time, 24 hours a day, laughing and having a big smile on my face. But I am in that joyful place more frequently than not. So I do have the whole range of emotions. I don't ever want to mislead anybody thinking I never have a bad day. I do. I get stressed once in a while. I get discouraged once in a while. But overall, I can say I am happy and I am joyful. And I do have play in my life and I do have movement in my life. But I think the real reason, it's a choice that I choose how I want to be every moment, every breath. And I believe we all have that choice. We can choose from moment to moment how we're going to respond to something, who we're going to be in that breath. And I've shared on previous shows when I felt like I had too much on my plate and I was getting stressed out and just feeling like the day was running me. I was able to pause for just a moment. Pauses are critical. And ask myself if I was being who I wanted to be. And the answer was no. So I honored and recognized that. And then the next question was, well, who do you want to be with your next breath? And I wanted to be more peaceful. I wanted to feel better about my circumstances. I wanted to have a little bit of space. And so I chose that with my very next breath. And nothing around my circumstances had changed, but how I was in it had shifted profoundly from one breath to the next. And that's the way I really try to live my life and choose who I want to be and how I want to be. In every breath, I'm creating that. And I believe each of us has that opportunity to really choose who we want to be. We can't choose the circumstances. We can't always choose everything that comes our way or that happens to us, but we can choose to take a breath and to decide who we want to be despite circumstances in that next moment. And for those of you that are in a place where it is really difficult, it is survival, you are discouraged, perhaps you had someone or some being you cared about pass away recently, or you are angry, or you are frustrated. I'm not saying ignore those emotions or stuff them down or not honor them. Absolutely honor your emotions, honor your thoughts, honor the passing of things, but be cautious about staying stuck, about letting those circumstances rob you of your energy and your joy and the life you want to have. And I really invite you to become empowered and choose who you want to be, how you want to be with every breath you take. In today's show, you have an opportunity to lean in and listen, to hear the wisdom that Jim and Kerry and I are going to share with you to help empower you to make choices, to pause and breathe, and to choose how to be who you want to be with every single breath. So here's what I'd invite us to do. If we could, those of you driving, please keep your hands on the wheels, stay safe. Those of you who are able to, put both feet on the floor. Open up your hands. You can lay them on your knees. And take a deep breath. And Kerry and Jim, I'd love to have you join me with that deep breath. And I want you to all pause for a moment and just ask, what is it you need? What is it I need? What is it you need today in these few breaths and moments that we have together that would be supportive of you on your journey of bringing fun, movement, joy, play, and balance back into your life or consistently in your life. Just breathe and listen and see what comes to your heart and mind. In fact, why don't you put one hand on your heart and one hand on the top of your head? Close your eyes and just ask those questions again and listen. And with that, Kerry, I don't know if you would mind sharing a thought, a word, or a phrase that came to your mind.
It's about staying aware and, as you say, making choices. And my advice is always to make the playful choice, to look for the positive.
Beautiful. I like that. Make playful choices. Thank you. How about you, Jim? Did you have something come to your mind and heart?
I did. And I love, by the way, what you said about choice, and I totally subscribe to that. But what struck me the most was that we need to try to take care of ourselves and our health before we serve others, whether that's our family, our friends, or our colleagues. And, sometimes we don't do that. And if I say sometimes women are tend to look after others before they will look after themselves, men maybe less so. But I think that that's really important, that we make choices and look after ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you. I agree. Sometimes we're serving from a place of depletion versus from the overflow. And if we can build that energy and those playful choices into our lives and serve from the overflow, then we actually have endless energy to do that. But if we're serving from a place of sacrificing ourselves to the point of depletion, we can't serve anyone, much less have that joy and balance and energy in our life. Thank you. And I was just thinking, I think it comes to questions sometimes. I find in our thinking, and this is for me, that sometimes I can be thinking it has to be this or that, all or nothing, and I don't even recognize I'm doing it sometimes. And having someone come alongside me and just ask the question, really, helps me pause for a moment and shift my thinking, because perhaps it doesn't have to be me or my family, work or play, or taking care of myself or moving in this direction. It doesn't have to be these either or choices. Sometimes we're telling ourselves that when I stop and I pause and I even have someone asking me the question, and I've learned to ask it of myself now, really, how instead could I do some of both? Is it really all or nothing? I am able to start down a different path by that awareness. Some of what you were saying, Kerry, that awareness and our choices and that self-care. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So I invite you listeners to ask questions, to listen, but also ask, how can I make playful choices? How can I take care of myself first? Am I really saying all or nothing in something? How can I find a really different kind of way of perhaps exploring the gap I'm looking at filling or experiencing? And listeners, we're getting ready to go into our first commercial break, so I invite you during that time to sit in this place of pondering and listening, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
You have the power within to achieve anything, be it wealth, balance in your life, getting over your fears and roadblocks, and creating a positive impact on the world. Let Darby Mack show you how on the Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show. Darby will bring you the tools and tips that you need to make it all happen, with engaging guests and topics that will help you make your dreams come true. The Powerful, Passionate, Prosperous Woman Show is heard live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, noon Eastern Time on Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had a chance to listen and ask some great questions during our break. And I really invite you to build that process into your lives. That habit of pausing and asking questions can be so powerful if we just slow down once in a while and realize we're making a choice with each and every breath. And it's my pleasure to more formally introduce you to our first guest on the show today. And this is Jim Kirwan, and he's the author of Exercise Factor. And he came to the U.S. from Ireland in 2003 to establish and set up Tri Sports, which became an award-winning specialty retail business. He recently stepped down in 2012 to set up Get America Moving, which I know is a huge passion of his to really help us on a day-to-day basis begin moving more and more as a country. And so with that, Jim, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Rebecca. Really appreciate it.
And Jim, I love to start with my favorite question, which I know we chatted about a little bit on break, but I'd love for you to share with our listeners why you're so passionate about helping America to get moving, so much so that you stepped down from Tri Sports to really step into this passion of yours.
Well, it's probably strange that an Irishman would come to America to try to get America moving, but it goes back nearly 40 years. I was celebrating my 20th birthday, and I was out on a Friday night with some pals, and I got home at about midnight and needed to go to the bathroom, and my dad was in his bedroom, and I could see him standing with his back to me. The door was open, the light was on, and I never said good night. I'm not sure why, but I wish I had, because the next morning when I woke up, my sister told me that he wasn't feeling well and that my mum had brought him to the local St. Vincent's hospital. Now, this was back in the 70s, so there were no cell phones, so we waited for what seemed like an eternity, and then eventually this car pulled up outside, and I was shocked when only my mother got out of the car. And I'll always remember her face through the window as she walked to the door. And I knew just from looking at her that Dad was not coming home. Mm-hmm. He had died very quickly in the ER. They couldn't do anything to help him. Now, he was on medication for angina, which clearly didn't work. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He was about 10, maybe 15 pounds overweight. I think he was under a bit of stress at work. But the one thing I know for sure, and that is that he didn't exercise. Like many of his contemporaries, he had retired from playing rugby, and for the next 15 years, bar the occasional walk, the very odd game of golf, that was it. He didn't exercise. And if only he knew what I know now, things could have been different. You know, we knew very little back in the 70s about exercise and nutrition. We know more now, though you wouldn't think it sometimes based on the lifestyle of the average person. The moment that I saw my dad for the last time is frozen in my memory as if it happened yesterday. And he'd be 86 if he was alive today. That's 39 lost years. So that's where this passion of mine comes from.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I think it's important for us all to remember that, time passes very, very quickly, and tomorrow isn't a guarantee. It's a hope. Yeah. We expect, and we can make choices every day to choose how we live today and hopefully extend the promises of tomorrow, because we have a lot of choice in our hands every day. Jim, I know from the work that you do. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know you shared, I should say, that your dad didn't have a lot of movement in his life, and certainly not consistent, it sounds like, when he retired, other than the odd golf game. Can you share with us a little bit about your suggestions to bring exercise or movement into our lives on a consistent basis? Because it sounds like that's where you feel there could have been a powerful shift of not having those 39 lost years.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'd say is that it's never too late to get started. And we're not too old, we're not too heavy, or we're not too out of shape. Exercise doesn't have to be too hard, and in my view, it should be fun and enjoyable. And when it is, interestingly, it becomes a really high priority in our lives, and that's something that you can make a choice about. We may be very busy, even stressed out, and this point is somewhat counterintuitive, but exercise will help you de-stress. It'll help you sort out your problems, and it'll even help you manage your time.
Beautiful. And do you have a tip of how someone could bring this movement into their life on a regular basis? Is there a simple way they could start stepping in?
Let me give you one sort of example of we are increasingly spending our time sitting. They're saying that sitting has become the new smoking, and so we really need to counteract that. And there's lots of easy things that you can do. So, for example, take a 5-minute break every hour. Get up and walk around. It's much healthier, and obviously it's more productive too. Drink plenty of water so that you need to take more bathroom breaks. Stand. I'm actually doing that right now and walking with the phone in my hand so that I'm getting a little bit of exercise. Use the stairs whenever you can or wherever you are. Go for a walk after your dinner. Aids digestion, helps you sleep better. Just 5 little things that you could do, and you could do those things today.
Beautiful. Thank you. So listeners, I would encourage you to write just a couple of those quick ideas down to start building some of this movement into your life. And something I hear quite a bit about is not just movement, but how do we increase our balance and our strength? Do you have some suggestions about that, or is it something that is important that we should be concerned about?
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, it is very important. Maintaining strength and balance is really important, especially as we get older. And the reason for that is very simple. We actually begin to lose our muscle mass in our early 30s. And it's no coincidence that many of us stop exercising around the same time. That's what my dad did. He stopped in his early 30s, and so, he unfortunately died when he was 47. So this loss of muscle is called sarcopenia, and we lose it at a rate of about 0.5% to 1% a year. So if you do the math very simply, in 30 years, you could lose up to 30% of your muscle mass. So by your early 60s, you're not going to be as strong as you once were. So unless we do something about it, we can have a problem. So strength needs to be an important part of your exercise regimen. And I'm not talking about heavy weights or building big muscles. I'm just talking about muscle maintenance so you have strength to do the things you want to do. And one of the free gifts, and we may come back to it, I'm sure we will, is that I'm giving a free gift of the 8 strength exercises that I do twice a week. And they're very simple. You don't need any equipment, just a towel, and get your listeners to start doing their strength straight away.
Perfect. Thank you. And actually, why don't we go there now then? So you shared what you do. And I just wanted to pause for a moment on this because, Jim, I know we've talked about this in the past, that people are curious about what you do, because sometimes people want to know how each of us are walking our talk. And so they really valued having direction on what you're able to bring into your daily life. So do you mind just expanding a little bit on that?
Well, for me, it's probably not a surprise. Exercise is, in many respects, the most important part of my day. But what's really interesting for me is that when I go out and exercise, I become very creative. I'm able to practice things. I'm able to work out solutions. I'm able to solve problems when I'm out there. I'd exercise probably about 6 days a week for about an hour on average. So it's about 6 hours in total a week. I run, I do a bit of swimming sometimes, I go for bike rides, and I always build in my 2 strength sessions, which take me about half an hour twice a week. So I definitely do, walk the talk. I have done, in the past, I've done marathons and triathlons, but not so much now. It's more about sort of maintenance and really trying to stay fit and healthy. That's my priority at this stage. I've beaten my dad by quite a bit. I'm nearly 60, so, I'm looking at 80s, maybe even 90s at this stage.
Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, Jim has made this amazing free gift available to you, and Kerry has a valuable gift as well. And we're going to share with you how to access those gifts, and they truly are gifts to support and empower you. Is there a way to give back to you listeners and help you all stay in touch at a deeper level? So if that gift of really getting some practical ways that Jim's able to bring strength into his everyday life is really supportive and helpful of you, then I encourage you to listen to the end of the show where I will share how to access that amazing gift along with Kerry's. And with that, we're going to go into our next break. And I invite you to stand and maybe even walk around during this break. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you got a little bit of movement in during those commercial breaks. And actually, while we're going to this next segment, you could still stand and take those deep breaths and move around a little bit. Now, our next guest is Kerry Hargraves. And Kerry, I love. And one of the things that's distinguished about her is frequently she actually will have glitter on her cheeks, making everyone smile that interacts with her. And one of her go-to surprises that she will frequently have in her purse and hand out are bubbles. And so I really know you're going to enjoy meeting Kerry and learning some of how she brings joy and play into everyday life. But let me give you a little more formal introduction. She has 40 years of business experience, 25 of which were in the corporate world, managing manufacturing, customer service, facility operations, and she was a productivity consultant that used to fly around and help increase productivity. Now she specializes in play and is starting a movement, I would say more than starting a movement, leading the movement to reclaim play and joy, really creating a playful and joyful spirit that we can each have in our lives. Kerry, I welcome you to the show.
I'm delighted to be here, and I am wearing glitter, and I have bubbles in my pocket.
I love it. See, she walks the talk. Beautiful. And Kerry, that's quite a shift, many people would say, from the corporate, almost in a sense, a hardcore position that you had, and really facility management, operational management, productivity management, and yet you have this huge passion for play and helping people bring that into their lives. Do you mind sharing why that has become your cause and what you're so passionate about doing?
I'd be delighted. I spent probably better than 40 years of my life trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grow up. And so I went semi-conventional in the corporate world, and while I wasn't doing conventional women's work in the corporate world, it was conventional work. And I came out the other end of it after the world's worst job, which I won't go into here, realizing something's got to change. And I started a couple of fun businesses and was trying to figure out how to market them. And somebody asked me, what's the umbrella? And I did a lot of thinking on that. And I finally realized that the umbrella over those two businesses was also the description of what made the many jobs and positions I had work. And it was playful. When I was doing something that I found playful and joyful, I was successful. And the people that worked for me were successful. And it spread. And when I wasn't being allowed to be playful, I was miserable, and that spread. And I want to live in a happier world, so I'm going to spread joy, not misery. And the tool I chose was play.
Beautiful. Now, I think sometimes we can think play. I don't understand how that's important or why it's important, particularly for adults, to be concerned about play. Can you share why play, particularly for adults, is important on a regular basis, not just once in a while?
Absolutely. Play has a very distinct role in children's lives in developing the tools necessary to live as a successful adult. But just like muscles, those skills need to be exercised. And the exercise that develops those skills, like negotiation and flexibility and innovation, is play. We stop playing because we get into the routines of school and jobs and families and all of that. And in doing so, we start to lose that mental flexibility. We lose the new ideas. We lose our creativity. We lose our flexibility. We lose our innovation. If we bring play back, those skills develop again, and they strengthen, and the world needs them. So it's not only fun, it's actually a very important life skill that play brings to the day-to-day.
I'm sorry. Would it be fair? Would it be fair to say that by enhancing those skills and bringing play into our lives, that we're actually increasing our productivity?
Absolutely. You're increasing our productivity, increasing your, I guess productivity is as good a word as any. I'm not going to try for another.
Perfect. But to me, it just sounds like, as a productivity expert that you had in so many years of your life, I love how it's tied back into play. And someone who really values productivity, seeing the importance of play, particularly for adults and developing those skills, I think is really powerful and beautiful.
Yes, and a lot of people confuse play with they have to do something specific that is playful. They have to do a game or something. And play is not actually doing specific things. It's how we go about what we're already doing. So you don't have to stop, put down the report, and go off and play. You can integrate ways of playing into doing the day-to-day work that you have to get done. And it does make that work go better, faster, easier, and more creatively.
So with that, what are 2 simple ways, or do you have a tip or an idea on how we could be more playful in our day-to-day life?
Well, as I mentioned in our introductions, there's an awareness of the playful choice. Just like there's a choice to be happy, it's a choice to be playful, and making those choices. And there's also a little something I like when you're getting ready in the morning and you're gazing into your closet to make your choices. Do something a little outrageous. Even if it's something nobody sees, like you put on crazy underwear or mismatched socks, something like that. The world doesn't see it, but you know, and so you exude a different energy, and people respond to you differently, happier, more playfully, because you have a secret, even if you don't tell. People can tell something's happening that's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
So listeners, here's a practical step and a challenge. When you're dressing tomorrow, or if you're changing clothes today, is there something you can do that'll bring a little bit of that energy in to your everyday walk? A little secret that you could have that can put a little bit of a spring in your step. I like that, Kerry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then how about you? What do you do to play? How do you bring playfulness into your life?
Well, as you pointed out, I always have bubbles in my pocket, and I blow them at any provocation. I particularly like to do it in elevators. If you wait until just before the doors open and you fill the elevator with bubbles, and when the door opens, they drift out, and I guarantee somebody outside will go, "Ooh, bubbles!" So that's one of my main things. I maintain an awareness of my surroundings. When I have to do a chore I don't particularly relish doing, I'll look for something to help make it enjoyable. Like I have to walk the dog, and it's my daily exercise, but the only way I make it fun is to engage with the birds and talk to the neighbors and pet everybody else's dog. Make a deliberate choice to enjoy it. Sometimes I'll wear a tiara while I'm doing the laundry. It's not an inherently fun chore, but if you dress up funny and the neighbors look at you like you're weird, it adds a little spice to it.
I'm just thinking of your neighbors, Kerry, around the neighborhood. Oh, there goes that lady walking her dog again. What's she going to do now?
Exactly.
Spreading your joy. I love it. Beautiful. And I know that you've put together an amazing gift for us. Do you mind sharing with our listeners what you've prepared for them today?
Well, I've entitled it 8 Signs That You May Be Missing the Point. And what I didn't put in was you may be missing the point of your life, because so many of us as adults are so focused on getting through the day-to-day and making a living and all that we lose sight of the point of our life. So I have 8 signs that you may have fallen into that trap, and what it's costing you, and what you can do to help overcome it. You don't have to give up your life. You just need to approach it from a slightly more playful angle.
Perfect. And do you have some tips of how they can start shifting their thinking in that? Or can you give us one now?
I can. An awful lot of people feel that they don't have any time to, quote unquote, waste. So like when they're spending time in the car commuting to and from work, it's educational CDs, it's something productive, it's something serious. I say don't do that. Turn on the radio, tap the steering wheel, and sing out loud. It's good exercise. It's good for your breathing. The relaxation of your brain will actually make you more productive when you're getting to where you're going, and you really do need a break. So don't work all the time. When you have an opportunity to play, like in the car, commuting to and from work, do so.
I love it. And do it while moving. I'm even thinking if we could combine the two. Yes. Playfulness, right, Jim, with some movement. We've got a winning combination.
I think he and I need to do a flash mob on Bart.
I love it. So look out. It's funny, as you were sharing, I had this flashback to junior high. And I remember a girlfriend and I were laughing and we were joking and we were pretending we were opera singers or something. We were not being subtle. We were just goofing around in a very loud, probably obnoxious way, having the time of our lives laughing. And we didn't realize anyone was around the corner. But apparently some people had walked in and they were just kind of stunned and listening, quite amused. And then we realized it, got embarrassed and got really quiet and gave each other the look and left, turning red as quickly as we could. And as we were walking out the door, because they turned around the corner, I heard them say one to the other, they're an odd bunch. I just don't get those two. And the other one said, I know, but I really kind of like them. They make me laugh. They make me smile. And we walked out the door, and I remember that to this day, that we have such an opportunity not only to bring joy and love into our life with our own quirkiness or things that entertain us or make us smile. It actually impacts those around us. And when we're willing to wear glitter on our cheeks or blow bubbles or smile or invite others to go for a walk and move and even be playful with us, it can have a big impact and brighten someone's day. So I really want to encourage listeners to pause for a moment. I hope you're actually smiling, listening to some of these stories that we've been sharing, and be willing maybe to go out and get some bubbles, add a little glitter, sing at the top of your lungs. You can have the windows up to the music in your car, whatever it may be. And then I encourage you to add the extra super bonus of a little movement along with that. We look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter this fall for a Women's Enrichment Retreat, November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the beautiful Westminster Retreat Center in Alamo, California, in San Francisco's East Bay area. Take time for you and step into your vision in a powerful and sustainable way. This is an all-inclusive retreat in a beautiful and nourishing environment, giving you plenty of time to relax, decompress, and refresh, while having the opportunity to connect with yourself and other heart-centered women on a deep level. To find out more, visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/WER.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. The Voice America Interactive Radio Player, powered by Aircast, gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs, anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break, that you did something that made you smile, and you moved around a little bit. Now, I promised I would let you know how to get these amazing gifts that Jim and Kerry have generously made available to you. So I wanted to make sure I honored that and let you know. If you are listening to the show on the Voice America channel, if you scan over to the right-hand side of the banner of the show, you're going to see a bunch of links. And at the top of those links, you will see radio show gifts. You simply click on that. It will open up, give you an opportunity to put your name and email address in. And a world of amazing gifts, including Jim and Kerry's, will open up to you. So I really invite you to check those out. And please peruse the gifts as well. There's a lot of amazing and generous gifts and tools and resources that are continuing to be built and made available to you. Secondly, if you're listening to the replay, you can still access these gifts. You can go again to the Voice America channel, or you can go to my website, www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Click on the radio show tab, and on the left-hand top corner, you will see radio show gifts. You simply click on that, empowerment gifts, and you'll have the same opportunity. The other thing I wanted to encourage you to do is I love hearing from you. So you can call on the show and ask us questions anytime. You can send me emails. I check my email during the commercial breaks. And also, if you're listening to the replay, you can still email me a question or a comment. And I'll work as many of those into the show as possible. In fact, on the 19th of November, we're going to have a show completely dedicated to questions that have been asked or are being sent in to us. So if you've had a question you've always been wanting to ask me, please send it in, and we'll do our best to include it on that show, or you can call in live and ask your question on November 19th. And both of my guests actually had an additional thought they wanted to share with you today. And so I wanted to give them a moment to do that. Jim, would you mind sharing your thought or tip with us?
Well, sure. If we think positive and see exercise as a form of fun and enjoyment, it will be. So remember that all the folks out there who exercise regularly actually love it. So give fun a chance. Don't do it alone. At least not all the time. It's a great way to build relationships with family, friends, work colleagues, all of those. Exercise outdoors. Plan to exercise on your vacations. And, really enjoy your exercise, but have a positive mindset. Give fun a chance.
I love that. I think that's a beautiful slogan that can be used and a great motto to live by. Give fun a chance. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carrie, did you have a thought you wanted to share with us?
I do. It was prompted by your story about being embarrassed caught singing. If you play as an adult is actually an act of bravery, because when you play as an adult, you stand out from the crowd. You become visible. And it's also a contagious energy. So I recommend that people take the chance and get brave and be seen being playful, because you just never know whose life you're going to be influencing. Happiness is contagious, and I want us to create an epidemic.
Beautiful. So I just want to capture these moments. I heard this on a radio show, it was an interview where they were talking about it was a tweetable moment. That was the term they used. So here's a tweetable moment. Give fun a chance. Share happiness. Happiness is contagious. Make playful choices. Playful choices are an act of bravery. And I just think these are beautiful things to underline and remember in our daily life. And listeners, I've really enjoyed, Kerry and Jim, I've just really enjoyed the conversation. I'm smiling even bigger, so I could feel my energy lifting as we're moving around and talking and laughing and sharing about how to bring fun and energy and movement back into our lives. And listeners, I hope that you're experiencing that as well. And I want to circle back to what we shared in the beginning about listening and breathing and pausing and really consciously making choices. And what I invite you to do is find a way, start making a list, and choose movement. Choose fun. Stretch yourself and do that crazy thing. Blow bubbles in the elevator and out of the elevator. Stand up when you're talking on the phone. Look for ways that you can build some of these simple daily things into your life to bring in more joy, to bring in more energy, to bring in more movement. Really create an epidemic in your life. Really create movement and energy. You get to choose. Find what makes you happy. Find what gives you energy. And be aware that every day, every breath, you get to choose. You get to choose to stand. You get to choose to smile. You get to choose to take that next breath. And I want you to really purposely build your life to be what you want it to be. To make those daily moment by moment choices to be and become who you want to be. And never underestimate the impact we have on one another. I remember that moment I shared with you in junior high. And I remember the way their voice sounded as those two girls shared, and it made an impact on me. One, I was unaware that anyone actually even noticed us and paid attention that we had an impact. But two, that just by being ourselves and having fun and being joyful, it impacted others. It noticed. It made them smile. It brought joy into their life. So by bringing it into ours, we have the opportunity to impact all of those people around us. And like you were sharing earlier, Kerry, about how when you were miserable, it kind of spread the misery. When you were happy, it kind of spread the happiness. Mm-hmm. So whether we recognize it or not, we are impacting others. And I want us to be aware of how and what energy we're bringing with that. So really breathe life in fully. Each breath, choose who you want to be and how you want to be. And may you always, always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.